Welcome back. Today we travel to Londonstan. First woman up is a cute little girl from London, just moved back there after 8 years in Australia. And she's a nice little British patriot. The second guy is more of a British cuck. But I didn't hammer it too hard. He was pleasant enough. I just kind of roadblocked him a lot on some of the things I thought I knew he'd come up with. So you know what you do here. If you like what I'm doing out there, you hit the like button. If you care, you share. If you haven't subscribed, you subscribe. If you've already subscribed, subscribe again, and then share again, because you know they do censor. And keep me in the fight. Go to my PayPal account, put something in the kitty at badassunclesam76 at gmail.com. Or, better yet, go to my shop. I really enjoy that when you do that and get one of my designs. So this way you too can be in the fight and spread the message around and catch some abuse of your own. Remember, if you don't trigger a liberal, you get the money back guarantee. You will get your money back. So this is it. It's a spiritual battle fought on a material plane. Give me the material to stay out there. Let's get on the street.
So I live an hour out of London, yeah, so I've only been here for a couple of days.
Now,
needed trip.
London, of course, is always making the news of something going on. Are you familiar with Tommy Robinson?
No.
You're not?
No.
Okay.
Should I be?
I think you should be.
Should I be watching the news a bit more, maybe?
No, yeah, I think that would be helpful.
Okay. Yeah.
Tommy Robinson is quite the name throughout the world now. But he started, I think he grew up in Luton, if I'm not mistaken. And he was reporting on what was happening to his town, city, in the neighborhood with the influx of the immigration that was coming in.
Yes, I do know him.
There you go.
He got locked up, hey?
They tried to lock him up, yes.
I've been in Australia for the last 8 years.
Yes.
That'll be
well, they heard about him over there, too.
Yes.
As I said, he's been worldwide, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they tried to lock him up for reporting on a Muslim group raid. That you know, they tried to put him in jail for 13 months. But then they had to let him out after a month and a half because of the uproar from the people. Yeah,
it was all on Facebook. I remember that. I do remember that. I'm not completely closed.
Of course not. And how do you feel about what's happening with the influx of the immigration to your country?
That's why Brexit.
There you go. So you're in favor of Brexit?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Things quite differently.
And that country is?
UK, England. So, by saying gun-free zone, so you're saying, so you're obviously for sort of everyone being allowed to bear their own arms.
I would, yes.
Yeah.
I would think it would be better to have an opportunity to go ahead and defend yourself than not. I mean, you're not going to be able to. Outlaws are called outlaws because they don't obey the law. I mean, they're always going to get a gun some way or the other, whether they're legal or not.
I suppose so. I mean, I guess the counter to that with England would be very few people shoot each other.
Yeah, but then they stab each other. Stabbing's a way of it.
Not that much. Not as much as your media would. I mean, I lived in one of the sort of heaviest gang areas of London, and there wasn't as much as they'd have.
Londonstan, as it were.
It's not Londonstan. Have you been there?
No, but I talked to enough people out here that, you know, and I understand even yellow vest protests are showing up there now. So, you know, because they're the influx of the immigration that's coming in and the no-go zones and the rapes. And, of course, then you have Tommy Robinson, which you know, is bringing a lot of attention to the fact that he watched his neighborhood, city, and then country change dramatically in a short period of time because of the influx of people that simply will not assimilate.
For sure. I guess, like, for me, like, so London, I don't know if it still is, but certainly when I was growing up was viewed as the most multicultural city in the world at that point. In sort of
well, indeed, but they would assimilate. In other words, they would understand and comply with the laws that were there.
So, because I went to the most multicultural school in London, that was what it was known as. So in a way, I went to the most multicultural school in the world, you know, and it was really pleasant. You know, I felt like I learned so much more than.
Well, you're in a multicultural country here.
For sure.
I mean, we got people from around the world. But again, to come in and comply with the culture and the laws of the country or the host country you're in makes that homogeneous. So you can live together. The problem with bringing in cultures rapidly that are radically different from yours is that they have a difficult or almost impossible time assimilating into your culture. They might even be opposed to it. I mean, things like Sharia law are directly opposed to anything democratic or republican.
I can certainly understand that. I guess what I feel happened in England was the process of immigration in any form is now a commercial business, right? I'm not saying it's a commercial business. So what tends to happen is, so you've got like private companies involved.
Yeah.
And so what happens is, if you're a private company, you're about the bottom line, right? That's how you think. So what happens is you think, okay, where are the cheapest places that we can put these immigrants? So what happens is they generally go to what in England used to be old mining towns, you know, where now that industry is gone, you can buy houses for like $1, you know. And so what happens is, rather than immigrants being spread evenly across the country, they're all placed in one or two areas. So I can understand if you're in those places that you, of course, will feel your culture is under threat, because suddenly there's this huge influx of people. Whereas really, if it was not handled in such a private, bottom line driven way, and was thought of more in a cultural sense of, okay, what is the best way of assimilating people?
You brought up a very interesting point. Corporations, indeed, probably rule more than governments do. Yeah. They rule over the governments. So they're the ones that are really making the policy. Corporations, of course, like you brought up, are always looking for the cheapest labor they can find.
Yeah.
And the only reason the elites have kept us around at all this long is because they needed slave labor.
Sure.
So now, with the advent of AI robotic technology, they don't need us anymore. So the idea of this is to get rid of nation states that are prosperous, bring in third world cultures in a hurry that will not assimilate and create chaos. Right. So then the police state can come in to quell that. They bring everybody down to the lowest common denominator, and then they can start killing us in earnest.
Yeah.
So that is what's in play right now. It's what's in play in UK. It's what's in play with us, with our southern border, bringing in people that are uneducated, those skilled, to go ahead and drive down the wages here, bring down everything to the lowest common denominator, create a bunch of chaos and infighting, and so then again, what does the government do? At the behest of the elites, initiate martial law, police state, and then start killing us.
So what do you say to, I don't know, when sort of statistics come out that say actually the majority of sort of drugs and sort of what's the word, when you're sort of bringing especially women in, when all the arguments from all the port authorities say that doesn't happen just randomly across the border, it happens in these big points that are actually, you know, pretty well guarded, they're just not checking that. Are they wrong? Like what?
Well, again, the policy makers will go ahead and put people in play to allow these things to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason they don't want the wall built. There's a reason that even at the ports of entry where most of the drugs come in.
Yeah.
Because they allow it.
Well, for sure, but wouldn't it make more sense to shore up those areas rather than spending...
They don't want to shore them.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be a better use of money than building an entire
But again,
wall?
they don't want to vote one. Why not both? I mean, why not both? Because I've talked...
It seems like a colossal waste of money.
Well, not to the people I've spoken to.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday I spoke to 2 ranchers right on the border.
Right.
And they're telling me how they need a wall because these guys are coming over, destroying their property, their fences, their cattle, their everything. And so, you know, and I've talked to agents, border agents, that said by eliminating these open spaces, then you would funnel people into the ports of entry where we could better, you know, control the situation. So why not both? I mean, why allow why make it
like
easier?
There's enough money, you know.
Well, what costs more then is to, you know, what's the flip side here? To just let these people come in and then they flood our schools and our medical system. We're paying an exorbitant amount of money for them to use our schools and our medical system up. So it's costing a lot more. They've done a study where every illegal immigrant that comes in, on average, costs us, the taxpayer, $70,000 a year.
Right.
There are people that don't make $70,000. We're paying for their medical expenses because they're coming in sick.
Right.
They come in pregnant. We have to deliver the baby. Now we're going to pay for the baby.
Yeah.
So, you know, the exorbitant costs that we're paying on the flip side, where if we just built the wall and said, I'm sorry, you can't come in, would be a lot cheaper than the wall.
I guess we can all just kind of count ourselves lucky that we were born white and on this side of the border, really, and not in places where you're getting persecuted every day.
Well, again, remember the elites never wanted what we have had, your you know, kind of democracy, our kind of a republic, to really spread around the world. I mean, we were an anomaly. The white people got rid of slavery. You know, we introduced a lot of the things that made things well. But again, why? Because the elites needed us to build those things. Now that they don't need us anymore, they want to get rid of us. They don't want a bunch of intelligent people running around going, what are you going to do with us? I mean, Henry Kissinger called us the future useless food eaters.
Right.
So the fight is against the elites there's a thing called Agenda 2030 out of the UN. And Agenda 2030, Indeed's hidden program, is to reduce the world's population by 97% by the year 2030.
Right.
And that's what we have to fight. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Although I suppose if I was an animal, I'd feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, but you know we're not.
Yeah.
We're sentient human beings that want to live a life and want to prosper, and we could do that effectively if the elites weren't psychopaths and sociopaths and greedy son of a bitches. I mean, we could reach the stars. We could do anything we wanted to do because we have the ability to do that. But they don't want us to get there. So that's why they hide these technologies from us. There's been free energy around for over 100 years. Yeah. So why are they hiding this free energy technology from us? Because if we were free from the energy companies, we'd truly be free.
Well, on that point, I do agree. Yeah. It's good to talk to you.
Oh, it's a pleasure talking to you. Enjoy.